Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litza and today I'm finally bringing you, after nearly a year and just before the next Cal 2023 for Crochet Society's Advent calendar commences very soon, I'm bringing you my finished blanket for the 2022 Cal. I'm very excited to do so. I know it's a little bit late, but let's be real, the next one hasn't started yet, so I have still got it within the year before the new one starts. Now, for those of you that have been following along for the last few months, you'll be aware that I've been creating all of the squares, trying my very best to get them finished and put together before the new Cal commenced. We've only just received it and I've done the unboxing, which is a spoiler alert, so only watch that if you want to know what's in there before you receive your box. But we haven't commenced making that one yet, those projects yet, because the patterns haven't been released. So I thought it was okay that I bring this to you, and I know that a lot of you actually wanted to see the finished blanket. Now I do have a little bit of information on it before I show you the blanket on both sides, but here it is, and it's turned out so very beautiful. At first, when I saw all the color combination, I wasn't quite sure if, what it was going to look like in the end, but let me tell you, all the colors work very well together. Now, this crochet along, as we said, was, an Advent one. So every single day out of this Advent calendar here, we got to open each and every box, and there was a nice ball of yarn in there. And here are all the ones that I have left over, guys. And I will talk to you a little bit about the yarn for those of you that aren't familiar with it. So basically, it's all the same weight yarn. It's this Coco Crochet DK confection weight yarn. Now this is one of my little leftover scrap balls. They were very generous with the yarn. Each and every ball is 33 grams, and I believe it's 66 meters per ball. Now, some of the colors did double up, obviously. Yes, 66 meters. Just checking my stats, guys. Make sure I get it right for you. And they did supply us with all of the hooks that we needed to use. And for the bulk of the squares, we used one hook, but for some of them, we used two. So we have a 3.5 millimeter hook, and they're both polymer clay hooks, which are very much Crochet Society hooks. If I think of a polymer clay hook, I think of Crochet Society. They're nice and sparkly, and there's also a 4 millimeter hook. So the majority of them were done with a 4, but we beg your pardon, 3.5, and then 4 millimeter, and then we used the 3.5 to do the border, which actually worked out very well in keeping the squares nice and tidy. I haven't blocked anything as yet, but I did manage to get all the ends sewn in, which was very important, and the border done, which is actually a very pretty border, I feel. And then in the box, we also received a 5 millimeter hook. Now this was for the mini makes, which I'll talk to you about a little bit later. And that's why, I have a little bit of extra yarn left over, as you saw, and I'll let you know how much yarn I did use, because I didn't make the mini makes, but I will show them to you because they are very cute, but I don't feel the need to make them, not at this point in time anyway. And with that yarn, which is absolutely gorgeous, and it is, as I said, a DK weight yarn, and it is very nice to work with. This is actually in a lot of the Crochet Society boxes, and also the colors all seem to marry up, and obviously, it's the same yarn. So of course, if I create a project with them, it'll be, very well suited to it. It won't be, pulling here or pulling there. So the style of this Advent calendar for the crochet part of it was all tapestry crochet, which I absolutely love. For those of you that aren't familiar with tapestry crochet, you basically, as you're doing your color changes, you're just hiding your yarn behind your stitches as you go along, so you carry your yarn around with you. You don't cut it off until the end, and it does create a beautiful look at that, beautiful patterns. Now each and every one of them, they give you a video tutorial, a written pattern, and a chart. Now I found very quickly that the chart was best suited for me, so that's what I use for the majority of my squares. I did watch a few videos in the beginning just to get my head around, how they wanted it to be worked, especially with the color changes in some areas, because you did a funny thing with your loops to change the colors. but I need to let you know, in case you're not sure, that it's all written in UK terminology. So what we know in US terminology as a single crochet was a double crochet, and a treble is a double crochet, a treble in UK terminology. But the majority of it is in trebles or double crochets. So if you do decide to get yourself an advent calendar from Crochet Society, be mindful that it is in UK terminology, but it does make that very clear for you. So for the whole entire time, I had printed out all of the patterns each and every day. And then at the end, let me show you what it was meant to look like. And as you can see, mine does, which I'm very, very happy to report that. Now, let me just flip this over for you so you can actually see the other side as well. I might just bring it a little bit closer for you, just so you can see the border. Now, I think that that border turned out very, very pretty. Very, very simple border. And the colors that we used, let me pop this around now so you can see the other side. So the colors that we used for the border were icing sugar. There we go. Now you can see the other colors. See how it all just works together? I never thought that it would. I must say I was a little bit skeptical at one point, but they actually do. A little bit of blocking won't hurt this, but I think in essence they actually turned out pretty good, the squares. The majority of them are pretty much the same size. So what was I saying? Oh yes, so these are the colors for the border. Very, very similar. So this was the very last row, and there were 2 rows with that one, and they actually look very, very pretty together, and they brought the whole thing together perfectly. Now, there were 24 balls of yarn, obviously, and I do have my little stats here of how many balls I used and how many I have left. So in essence, I've used, so here they all are, my used balls, ball bands, beg your pardon, and that's one of the little notions that came in the pack as well, in the drawers. It's got a beautiful little stitch marker there, a snowflake, as you can see it. And this is actually a ball saver, a yarn saver. You put it around the yarn, so when you pull from the middle, it doesn't unravel. It actually keeps it all together for you. But I thought I'd just put it around my ball bands just for now. And I did use 14 complete balls. And I do have in here 6, because one of them is 3/4 of a ball, that one in the middle. So I still have all this yarn left over, 6 3/4 balls, which is quite a bit of yarn, guys. And I've also got my, oh, I'll just show you, just here they are here. This is what's left over, my little remnants, my little scraps, and 2 more little tiny ones here. So of course I'll be using those. I won't be throwing any of that away. It's all very, very precious. So I have about 3 1/4 balls in scraps, you know, just if you put it all together, which tallies to 24 balls of yarn. So that, I thought they were very generous with the yarn. Well, I certainly didn't run out. That's, you know, great. And because I didn't make the little mini makes, I do have all that extra yarn. So obviously if I had made them, there wouldn't be as much. But I'm going to show you the mini makes just so you know what they would have been. And you never know, if I ever make them in the future, I will definitely be sharing them with you. So there were 3 crocheted projects and 1 fancy salt dough project, which you made ornaments for the tree, which actually explained some of the things in the pack. So let's start off with the very first one, which was a little festive gnome. So here he is here. Pardon the glare. So he was very, very cute, but I haven't made him. But if I did, well, then, you know, I would have been using some of the yarn. And then the other one was a festive garland. And we needed to use, here it is here. And we needed to use the pom-pom maker that came with it as well. Let me enlarge it for you. So you can see the little pom-poms there and some tassels. So it actually came with a pom-pom maker, which I thought was very cool. At the time when I first opened the box, I didn't realize that that was, you know, what it was going to be used for. I just thought it was just a fun gift, but it had a purpose as well. And now we also had a mini snowflake that we can make. And here it is here. Oh, it's very, very pretty. So obviously I've got quite a bit of that red yarn left, so that's where it would have gone. And then we got to make, well, I've got the recipe to make the salt dough, let me just enlarge it for you, decorations. There they are there. Pretty cool, right? And I'll just show you the little cookie cutters that come with it. I just thought that they were just cookie cutters that we could just use at any time. So there's a Christmas tree one. Can you see that, guys, without too much of a shadow? And a little snowflake. Here we go. Very, very cute. So everything in the box is very, very useful. There are other things that are in there as well. So I'm very much looking forward to now, you know, with all the little bits and pieces that I found in the new box for 2023 to see if they relate to any of the mini makes, because I'm pretty sure they'll have some this year as well. Now, the blanket, my blanket, measures 29.5 inches or 75 centimeters in width, and in the length, it measures 43 inches or 109 centimeters. Now, the actual project, like it says that your finished blanket should be 70 by 104 centimeters. So I was just a little bit looser by the, you know, my tension a little bit, but that's okay. I think it actually turned out very pretty, and I'm generally a very tight crocheter, so there you go. So guys, thank you so much for following me along, you know, this very, 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 very long journey to get to the end of our Cal for 2022 with Crochet Society. I've actually enjoyed it immensely, and I want to thank each and every one of you for being my cheerleader, because if I wasn't made accountable to you, I don't think I would have finished it. I still have the Cal from 2021 to complete, but that is going to be something for the future when I actually have a little bit more time, because I would really like to start 2023. When I opened the box, you know, the other day for you and for me, I thought, oh, I don't know if I'll get an opportunity to start, but you know, after finishing this one and you know, the absolute pleasure that it gives you knowing that you've completed a project, and I get to share it with all of you, I'll see how I go, but I don't want to make that promise. But for now, we can tick that we've actually finished the Cal for 2022. It was one of the things on my, you know, goals list for this year, and I've actually completed it, so I'm very, very happy with that. So I hope you're all keeping well and you've had some crochet time. Please let me know if you've made this blanket, and if so, please, you know, send me a photo if you wish to, and I'd be more than happy to showcase it for everybody to admire as well, because we all know sharing is caring, and we love seeing everybody's projects. I absolutely love it. And if you don't want to share it with everyone else, please let me know. You know, just show it to me. I would love to see it, or just let us know in the comments down below if you've actually completed one as well and what your thoughts were. So on that note, I'll say take care, and I shall see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye, everybody.